There are places in the world where you can feel a chill run down your spine just by stepping foot in them, not because of the chill of the evening, but because the atmosphere is so heavy that it seems like the town itself is whispering about broken dreams. The deserted streets, dusty shops, and distant eyes of the people make you feel like you've stepped into a horror book, where every page is a story of pain that has never been told. These are towns that have been forgotten not only by time, but also by hope, where crime, poverty, and isolation have left their mark. Today, we'll explore the 10 scariest towns in America, places where life seems to have receded, leaving behind ghosts of a glorious past. This isn't just a journey through the ruined streets, it's a story of people who persevere in the darkness, of buried dreams, and of the secrets these towns hold. Be prepared, because these places will make you shudder and wonder, what could cause a once vibrant community to become a place of despair? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to join us on this emotional journey. Let's get started. Imagine standing in the middle of California's arid Mojave Desert, where scorching heat and silence envelop a town erased by time. Calico was once a bustling silver mining center in the late 19th century, where thousands flocked with dreams of striking it rich. At its peak, Calico had more than 3,000 residents, with saloons, general stores, and even a local newspaper. The streets bustled with laughter, the hammers of silver mines pounded, and church bells rang out every Sunday. But when silver prices collapsed in the 1890s, residents left, leaving Calico as a ghost town, with ramshackle wooden houses and deserted streets. Today, Calico is a preserved historical park, but its population is small, consisting mostly of curators and guides. Though crime-free, Calico has another haunting quality: the feeling that you are being watched by ghosts from the past. Many visitors report hearing children's laughter or footsteps in abandoned houses, even when no one is there. Calico is not just a deserted town, said one guide, Tom. It's a place where the dreams of the silver diggers still linger in the dust. There are no house prices, no services, just absolute isolation in the middle of the desert. Calico is not just a forgotten town, it's a warning about the fragility of glittering dreams. Would you dare spend the night in a place where every wind is a whisper of the past? Welcome to Cairo, Illinois, a town located at the confluence of two mighty rivers, the Mississippi and the Ohio. Once known as the jewel of southern Illinois, Cairo in the 19th century was a bustling commercial center, where ships bustled and merchants flocked. The streets were brightly lit, the shops were always crowded, and the historic buildings were a source of pride for the area. Families gathered for picnics by the river, and music blared from the bars every evening. But today, Cairo is a gloomy place, where dilapidated buildings stand like tombs, and the streets are silent except for the wind whistling through broken windows. Cairo's decline began in the mid-20th century, when racial tensions and economic downturns sent the town spiraling. Businesses closed, residents fled, and Cairo became a ghost town. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, Cairo's population has dropped from 15,000 in the 1920s to less than 2,000 today. The poverty rate here exceeds 40%, and violent crime is 3 times the national average. One resident, Mary, once shared, "Cairo is like a sinking ship, and we are the ones who cannot leave." Homes in Cairo start at around $30,000, making them some of the cheapest in the country. But in return, you'll be living in a town that lacks schools, hospitals, and hope. Local schools are frequently closed for lack of funding, and the nearest hospital is more than an hour's drive away. Cairo isn't just a poor town, it's a tale of abandoned dreams on the banks of a river, where a once glorious history is now in tatters. Would you want to live in a place where every street bears the scars of the past? Gary, Indiana, was once hailed as the heart of America's steel industry. In the 1950s, Gary was a beacon of prosperity, where steel mills churned day and night, providing jobs and the American dream to thousands of families. The neighborhoods are filled with the laughter of children, the shops are always bustling, and weekend evenings bustle with music from the bars. Workers proudly wear protective gear, and families gather for BBQs in the summer. But today, Gary is a somber place, where factories lie dormant, homes crumble, and streets are deserted except for the wind whistling through broken windows. Gary's decline began in the 1980s, when the steel industry collapsed, taking tens of thousands of jobs with it. Gary's population has dropped from 180,000 at its peak to about 70,000 today. Violent crime rates are among the highest in the country, with shootings and robberies occurring almost daily. In Gary, you don't dream about the future, said one resident, Marcus. You just try to get through today. The median home price in Gary is just $81,000, but the real price is living in a town that lacks opportunity, schools, and safety. Many neighborhoods in Gary resemble ghost towns, with dozens of abandoned homes standing side by side. Schools lack teachers and streets are often dark because of broken streetlights. Gary is more than just a town in decline, it's a reminder that even the most vibrant places can be forgotten. Do you dare walk these streets at dusk? Flint, Michigan, is a name that has been in the headlines for a long time, and not for good reasons. Once the center of the American auto industry, where General Motors employed thousands, Flint is now a symbol of disaster and abandonment. Streets that once bustled with honking and laughter are littered with trash, houses are boarded up, and the air is heavy with the feeling that the town is carrying a curse. Flint made headlines in 2014, when the water crisis erupted. The city's water supply was contaminated with lead, exposing thousands of people, especially children, to the heavy metal, which can cause brain and nervous system damage. More than a decade later, many Flint households still rely on bottled water. I never thought I would have to teach my children that tap water is the enemy, said one mother, Sarah. In addition to the water crisis, Flint faces a poverty rate of more than 35% and a violent crime rate that is twice the national average. Auto plants have long since closed, leaving a city without jobs and without a future. Homes in Flint cost just $50,000, but the real cost is living in a place where even the most basic need, clean water, is a distant dream. Flint is more than just a poor town, it is a story of people being let down by the system, where every day is a fight for survival. Pritchard, Alabama, is a town that feels heavy with history and neglect. Once a small industrial community with lumber mills and a bustling seaport, Pritchard is now one of the poorest and most dangerous places in America. Trash-strewn streets, dilapidated homes, and police sirens are a part of everyday life. Pritchard faces a poverty rate of more than 50%, one of the highest in the country. The violent crime rate here is 4 times higher than the national average, with robberies and assaults occurring frequently. One resident, Ms. Lena, once shared, "In Pritchard, you learn to live without expecting tomorrow." Schools are underfunded, many children drop out early, and the nearest hospital is an hour's drive away. Homes in Pritchard cost just $40,000, but in return you'll be living in a town without electricity, clean water, and hope. The aging sewer system regularly floods, and many neighborhoods have no streetlights, plunging them into darkness at night. Pritchard isn't just a poor town, it's a testament to the communities that have been left behind by the system, where resilient people still find light in the darkness. Bessemer, Alabama, was once a bustling industrial center where steel mills and coal mines brought prosperity to thousands of families. In the early 20th century, Bessemer was nicknamed the Magic City because of its rapid growth. The streets were brightly lit, the shops were bustling, and the neighborhoods were filled with the laughter of children. Workers proudly donned their overalls, and families gathered for summer barbecues. But today, Bessemer is a grim place, with dormant factories, crumbling homes, and a heavy atmosphere that makes the town seem like it might be cursed. Bessemer's decline began as industry left, leaving behind a crumbling economy. Bessemer's population has dropped from 40,000 in the 1960s to about 26,000 today. Violent crime rates are 5 times the national average, with shootings and robberies common. "You don't walk in Bessemer," said resident Jamal. "You run because you don't know what's around the next corner." Homes in Bessemer cost about $85,000, but the real price is living in a town that lacks opportunities, schools, and safety. Many neighborhoods in Bessemer resemble ghost towns, with dozens of abandoned homes standing side by side. Schools lack teachers and streets are often dark because of broken streetlights. Bessemer is more than just a town in decline, it is a reminder that even magical cities can be forgotten. Alquipa, Pennsylvania, was once known for its steel industry and bustling downtowns. In the 1940s, Alquipa was the center of the Jones and Laughlin Steel Company, bringing jobs and prosperity to thousands of families. The streets were brightly lit, the shops were crowded, and the bars were bustling with music on weekend nights. Workers proudly donned their hard hats, and families gathered for summer BBQs. But today, Alquipa is a heartbreaking place, with trash-strewn streets, dilapidated homes, and a gloomy atmosphere that makes it seem as if the town is waiting for the end of the world. Alquipa faces a poverty rate of more than 30% and a violent crime rate 3 times the national average. Alquipa's population has shrunk from 26,000 in the 1950s to about 9,000 today. Alquipa used to be our home, but now it's just a place where we try to survive, said one resident, Maria. Schools are underfunded, many children drop out early, and the nearest hospital is an hour's drive away. Homes in Alquipa start at around $60,000, but in return you'll be living in a town that lacks jobs, health care, and safety. Many neighborhoods in Alquipa are dark because of broken streetlights, and schools are severely underfunded. Alquipa is more than just a poor town, it is a testament to communities abandoned by the system, where resilient people still try to find light amid the darkness. Huntington, West Virginia, was once known for its idyllic Ohio River views and bustling industry. In the early 20th century, Huntington was a center for glass, steel, and coal production, bringing prosperity to thousands of families. The streets were brightly lit, the shops were bustling, and the neighborhoods were filled with the laughter of children. Workers proudly donned their hard hats, and families gathered for picnics by the river. But today, Huntington is a heartbreaking place, with trash-strewn streets, crumbling homes, and a somber atmosphere that makes it seem as if the town is waiting for the end of the world. Huntington faces a dual crisis, economic decline, and an opioid epidemic. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, Huntington has one of the highest opioid overdose death rates in the country. The poverty rate here exceeds 30%, and the violent crime rate is twice the national average. In Huntington, you don't just fight poverty, said resident Emily. You fight demons you can't see. Homes in Huntington cost just $100,000, but in return you'll be living in a town that lacks jobs, health care, and safety. Many Huntington neighborhoods are dark because of broken streetlights, and the schools are severely underfunded. Huntington isn't just a poor town, it's a testament to the communities that have been left behind by the system, where resilient people still find light in the darkness. Centriia, Pennsylvania, is a town with one of the strangest and most terrifying stories of all forgotten places. Once a thriving coal mining community in the early 20th century, Centriia had a population of just over 1,000, with shops, schools, and bustling neighborhoods. Streets were brightly lit, families gathered for picnics, and church bells rang every Sunday. But in 1962, a small fire in a landfill accidentally ignited a fire in the coal mines below the town. The fire still smolders today, transforming Centriia into a ghostly place where the ground is hot and the air smells of sulfur. Centriia's population has dwindled from 1,000 to fewer than 10, and most of the homes have been demolished or abandoned. Underground temperatures can reach 500 degrees Celsius, and carbon monoxide leaks make the air toxic. Crime is virtually non-existent here, simply because there's no one left to commit crimes. But the real danger is the environment. The ground could cave in at any moment, and toxic air is a constant threat. One of the last residents, John, once said, "I was born here, and I will die here, though the ground burns beneath my feet." Centriia's home prices. Virtually zero, because no one wants to live on a time bomb. Centriia is more than just a forgotten town, it's a warning of what happens when humans push nature to its limits. Would you dare set foot in a place where the very ground itself is fighting against life? Selma, Alabama, is a town with a proud but also tragic history. Once the epicenter of the civil rights movement in the 1960s, Selma was the site of the historic march across the Edmund Pettus Bridge, where thousands fought for equal rights. The streets were once filled with shouts of hope, freedom songs, and families dreaming of a better future. But today, Selma is a dark place, where historic buildings stand crumbling, and the streets are silent except for the wind whistling through broken windows. Selma's decline began when industries left, leaving behind a disintegrating economy. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, Selma's population has dropped from 30,000 in the 1960s to about 17,000 today. The poverty rate here exceeds 35%, and violent crime is 3 times the national average. "Selma is where we fought for freedom, but now we're fighting for survival," said one resident, James. Homes in Selma cost just $80,000, but the real cost is living in a town that lacks jobs, schools, and health care. Many local schools have closed for lack of funding, and the nearest hospital is more than an hour's drive away. Selma is more than just a poor town, it's a story of unfulfilled dreams, where history and despair intertwine. Would you want to live in a place where every street carries the memory of a war that never ended? These towns are more than just points on a map. They are living stories of lost prosperity, of people who still struggle to find their way between hope and despair. From the barren silver mines of Calico, to the historic streets of Cairo, to the smoldering underground fires of Centriia, each bears its own scars, a reminder that the American dream doesn't always have a happy ending. But the story doesn't end there. There are countless more towns waiting to be explored, each with its own secrets and heartaches. Want to know which ones? Leave a comment and let us know which towns you'd like us to explore next. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to continue our journey through America's hidden corners. Thanks for joining us, and see you in the next video, where new mysteries await.